Chelsea Football Club's interest in Liam Delap is real because David Ornstein said so. Yes, not stone cold. David Ornstein comes out with a very interesting article. We're going to talk about it. Then we've got The Athletic coming out with a very interesting January transfer plan. Who Chelsea are going to try sell, what's going to happen next summer, what's going to happen with Esteban, Santos, and what is going to happen with Kendry Pies. And finally, Reece James. We know what's happened to his hamstring. It's a new injury, not a recurring injury. When's he going to return? And more importantly, apparently Chelsea have 5 to 10 players that they're monitoring in that number 9 spot. We're going to talk about everything. So what I need from all of you is, number 1, I'm wearing a hat indoors because it's bloody cold, don't ask. Number 2, hit that like button. 1,000 likes go a long way. Number 3, subscribe to the channel. We are on course for 40,000 subs, and that would be a massive achievement. And finally, let me know, do you even want Liam Delap, or do you just think he's flavour of the month? Let's get started. Alright, so let's get started. When it comes to Liam Delap, his rise has been crazy. Look, a lot of people were talking about him originally. He went on loan last year, apparently got 8 goals in the championship, if I'm not mistaken, in 46 games. So by no means is this guy meant to be the next big thing. Right? Manchester City were within their rights to sell him on because, number 1, they needed the pure profit to make the accounts work. Number 2, if you score 8 goals in the championship, are you really good enough to be the understudy for Erling Haaland? However, it looks like they made a little calculated error, because what happened is he's gone to Ipswich and already got 6 league goals in 11 games, which is a phenomenal return, right? For anybody. If Nicholas Jackson did that, we'd be over the moon, which he has done, and we're proud of it. But what's happened now is David Ornstein's come out and said Chelsea are one of the clubs that are really interested in him from the conventional Big Six. So are Manchester City, who have a buyback clause, and Manchester United. I'm going to talk about it from Chelsea's perspective. And for me, it makes sense. Joe Shields, former Manchester City Academy scout, he's brought us already Romeo Lavia, Jadon Sancho, and Cole Palmer. What makes you think he ain't going back into his little Manchester City phone book, gets it out, you know? If any of you ever watched, what's it called, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, remember the Chictionary? He's got his Manchester City dictionary, right? What player can I bring? 100% he's most probably doing that. So the link seems real. Ornstein, as reliable as it can get. However, Simon Johnston now has come out from, I think it's the New York Post, if I'm not mistaken, and he writes for them and said, look, Chelsea are monitoring 5 to 10 strikers. They are monitoring them, they're trying to see what they can do, and in January, they will only do business if an extraordinary offer comes for Christopher Nkunku. This makes sense. Look, there's no need to run and get a striker right now. Do we have an issue at the number 9 position? I think we do, and I'm going to explain to you why. Jackson is the number 9, right? We believe that he's excellent. If he gets injured, we're either playing Joao Felix or Christopher Nkunku. For me, I don't feel fully comfortable with that because I don't think Nkunku can play the 9 to the standard that we need. And Joao Felix false 9 with Cole Palmer, I kind of like a proper striker. You know, somebody that's a penalty box striker like a Nicholas Jackson. But can we survive till the end of the season? 100% we can. Mark Guiu isn't of the level. Neither is David Washington. Neither is, what's it called, Moheka. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Because in this situation now, you need to get the balance right. Some of you said you were not for Samuel Marodian. I wasn't, and I'll explain to you why. Samuel Marodian would be coming in, and Samu would need to play football. He needs to play. Liam Delap will come in, he'll need to play. You can't have Jackson play 35 of the 38 games. And then all of a sudden just give, here's a Conference League game, here's a Carabao Cup game. No one will be happy to come and sit on the bench. In my opinion, we need to get a forward that can play 9, that can play wing, that can play 10. And the reason I say that is then you can actually rotate that individual to play in different positions, and then you have a little bit more harmony and a more settled squad. At the moment, Christo's doing well, he's just not a natural 9, and doesn't do the 9 well enough in my personal opinion. Let me know your comments in below. The plans for the summer and January are coming out, and what I always love about this time is journalists go deep into their bag now. You know them ones there, little bit of a dribble, 40 yards out, little bit of a nice 3-pointer, Steph Curry. They feel heat check, they feel it. A couple of stories banged, now they're coming out with more information, you know? And the reality is, what they're talking about now is the January plans, what Chelsea will try to do, and if they can't do it, it's gonna go for the summer. Number 1, they're trying to sell Ben Chilwell. This makes total sense. Chile's not been anywhere in sight. If they can loan him Okay, sell him, phenomenal news. The next player they're going to try sell alone is Carney Chukwuemeka. This is, I've spoken about this on many occasions. This is poor management from Chelsea in terms of how they've allowed it to get to this stage. Is he talented? 100%. Is he good enough to be getting minutes for Chelsea? 100% as a B team player, without a doubt. Is he going to get those minutes? No. He's not. He's not better than Joao Felix. He's not better than Cole Palmer in the 10. He's not viewed as an 8, nor is he viewed as a 6. He's running short on the available minutes that could be allocated to him. And is it Chelsea's fault? No. Chelsea gave him an opportunity, they signed him, and what ended up happening was he got injured over and over again, which isn't his fault, it isn't their fault, it's just bad luck, you know? And what happened was they bought players that could play in this position, and he just got phased out. The next person they're going to try and move on is Raheem Sterling in the summer, and Trevor Chalobah. Both players are out on loan. There's no way back. Genuinely, Chelsea are not interested in it, according to Simon Johnston. They're trying to move them out. They want the money. They want them off the wage bill. Okay, we're not going to go over old news. Broja and Datro Fofana, I'll be honest with you, both players, I forgot they existed. Genuinely, I know it sounds horrible, but they haven't been Chelsea players in my head since the summer. Like, Broja's gone on loan to Everton. I don't know what's going on. I think he's injured. Datro Fofana's not even starting in Turkey. I think he scored the other day off the bench. And that's all we've heard. However, the future players that are coming in, we've got 5 youngsters that are coming that the hype around them is mad. Genuinely, the hype around these 5 youngsters is absolutely crazy. So Esteval and Andre Santos are both expected, according to the same source in The Athletic, to stay with the club next year. This makes sense. This gives us another right wing option that can play in the 10 and potentially could play left wing if needed in Esteval, which is great. Then we've got Andre Santos who could play in the 6, 8 and 10. Wonderful. Genuinely, 2 years in Liga, he's going to be developed, he's going to be up to the pace of the Premier League because he's coming from Liga where players usually tend to do very well in that transition due to the physicality of that league. And he's going to have around about, what, 50, 60 league games under his belt. Phenomenal. The other 3 players that we need to consider is Alcemino, Kendry Pierre-Paes, and Penders. Chelsea will look at what's going to happen with those players and then decide. Personally, if this was my decision, if I was in charge, what I'm doing is I'm picking up the phone. Liam, bonjour, ça va bien? I'm going to start speaking French as much as I can. Liam will tell me, listen fella, let's speak English. I'll be like, no problem. Listen, I've got Alcemino for you. I've got Mike Penders. And I got Kendry Pierre-Paes. Do you want him on loan? He's at Strasbourg. He's going to say, of course I do. I've got a number 10. All of a sudden, I've got a centre-back and I've got a keeper. Petrovic comes back to Chelsea next year. Caleb Wiley comes back to Chelsea. We decide what we do with Caleb Wiley. We decide what we do with Petrovic. Most probably sell both. And we send 3 of our most promising assets to Strasbourg, and Strasbourg develop them. They're going to get a great goalkeeper. They're going to get what's it called, a centre-half who's actually ready to play in Liga because he's been playing for Boca Juniors. And they're going to end up getting Kendry Pierre-Paes, who will need to slowly transition across. Personally, if it was up to me, I don't know if they would do this, I would send them on 2 loans, 2-year loans. The way they did with Andreas Christensen, it's a long-term move. You go there for 2 years, you absolutely develop, you come back, you're ready to compete for the first team. That would be my ideal solution. Let me know in the comments below if you actually like a 2-year loan better than a 1-year loan. Personally, I love the 2-year loans. The final story that we need to talk about is about Reece James, and then I can have to wrap it up because Tash is getting annoyed because I'm waffling across to the stories across to you lot while she's baking cookies, Christmas cookies. Let me know what flavors are your favorite cookie. However, all jokes aside, Reece James, we've got news, right? We know he pulled his hamstring. We finally found out this is not a recurring injury. It's a new injury according to Ben Jacobs, right? This injury is nothing to do with what they've been working to stop. It's something new. He's going to be out until at least end of December. They're not willing to put any date on it because they don't want to put pressure on him. Enzo Maresca has openly come out and said, we need to stop talking about this because all it does is we're putting pressure on him. The journalists putting pressure on him. The club's putting pressure on him. And it's really overwhelming. And he is going to get overwhelmed with this situation. And you know what? I'll be honest. I really am bored of this situation. And not because like, oh, how can Reece keep getting injured? It makes sense why Reece gets injured. You know what I mean? Like, it's football, it's bad luck, it happens. I just feel like what we need to do as fans now is we plan without Reece. Reece is no longer the Chelsea starter. Reece is a bonus player that we have every now and then. I've said to you before, you can't sell him. You can't sell him because the fee you're going to get is 30 million. 30 at a push 40. And if you sell Reece James for 40 million and he goes away and he gets fit, you're going to be hitting yourself on the head consistently, because all you're going to say is, oh my God, we've done another Musiala. Oh my God, we've done another KDB, another Salah. And this is the level of player we're talking about. We saw him for 3 games. And guess what happened? He came back, looked like he never missed a beat. He looked amazing. Yet he pulls his hamstring again, and it's just bad luck. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like even game management made him pull it. He wasn't doing anything for the 2 weeks during the international break to pull his muscle. But it happens. So we just need to be patient, let him develop. And like I said before, no one is more upset than he is. As we've been winning games recently, here's the review on Heidenberg getting whooped by us 2-0. It was a hard-fought victory, but the boys did us proud. Misha scored an absolute screamer. Go check it out. On your way out, hit the like button. Peace out. I'm out. Have a lovely day.